But what happens if the good thing happens? It's like, nobody's in there. Okay.
Great. Nothing happened.
Great.
Cool.
But if there's 5 or 2 people in there, you're like, I'm dead. I'm dead.
Hey,
like,
now I want to play a game with you. We're going to flip a coin. Heads, nothing happens. Tails, you give me $5. Want to play?
Man, I want to play that game.
Yeah, all right. Heads. All right, we're good. Guys, Champ Select, though, has begun. LeBlanc and Jarvan dropped away from CLG Black, and they said, well, you know, Easy did some crazy things. Let's tone that down a little bit.
Yep, they want to take that LeBlanc off the field. Once she gets ahead, it's hard to keep her down.
Yeah.
She's so mobile, and the amount of burst she has, that is very point-and-click oriented too, is hard to lock up and hard to prevent.
So we'll see what else gets taken off the field. CLG Black taking their time with their second ban. Zed away from gate. Now, there are some very explosive AD carries. I believe both of them do play Kalista effectively, and she still seems to be the most sought-after AD carry. Lissandra, I would say probably the most sought-after overall solo laner. Maybe her and Kassadin together, because they work in both lanes so cleanly. You expect to see her in one of the first 7 champions mentioned in Champ Select, right? 6 bans in first pick.
Yep.
So no surprise there. As they pare down the team composition's final 5, they will ban away Kalista, all that said.
I expected Kassadin last ban. It's very standard. I'm going to go uncreative here. Not going to roll too many dice.
Weird thing is we haven't seen much Sivir. We saw her, she was in some of the Tuesday, Tuesday games. None today yet, oddly enough.
I've seen a lot of Trist lately.
Yeah, Trist has made a resurgence. I don't... Trist to me right now, and we're still figuring out the champion because she's only been out in this remake for a little while. I feel like she's a mid-game AD carry. Actually, somewhat akin to Corki with just sort of different power curves.
Yeah.
In that she's a great defensive wave clear, especially if you go static shiv. One thing I actually forgot that exists is you can actually E one of the minions, then auto-attack it, and then the explosive shot, passive and active together, just full clears the wave practically.
She's a shover. She like shoves that,
really
gets
good
to
defender,
turrets.
and a really good turret killer. And like that's all you care about between minute like 12 and like 34.
Yeah.
And so she has that really sort of long time where she's one of the most effective AD carries. We might see her continue up in this one. Morgana, though, first picked here for Final 5. Gonna keep saying it's a flex pick. Might see it anywhere. Rux, to me, is the kind of top laner who would play that champion effectively.
It doesn't seem like a Rule 18 champion either, because Rule 18 loves Janna. Every time it's up, he will take Janna. Like, it's what he played. I think
actually, he did play it.
He played like every single
Rux
game. Rux did play it. Yeah, Rux did play it week 1, day 1.
Yep.
When it was off broadcast, so that could be a Morgana for Rux in the top lane. It is definitely a flex pick for them. They can throw it mid, they can throw it top, they can throw it to Rule 18. But he seems most comfortable on Janna, and you want him on something he's comfortable on.
Definitely the case. Get him on something he's safe. He can get away with the occasional overstep, maybe, if that's what actually happens to the guy. CLG Black plenty of time to make their early grabs here. All supports on the table, except for Morgana.
Yesterday, they actually had Janna and Morgana banned against them on Final 5 side. So they're going to get both of those today if they want them. So when you ban out the supports, you get Rule 18 off of his comfortable champions and onto something else, like a Thresh. He starts making plays where you can tell he's not that comfortable.
We got to see what these matchups end up being. Speaking of sort of bans that came in and out, Aurelia is a ban that was dropped in favor of Jarvan being dropped away. Lorlo, they don't really want, well, Final 5 doesn't really want him to play Aurelia, but as CLG Black covers in, they are going to go for that. It was banned in Game 1. They say, great, thanks. Put this one in Game 2, and Jarvan ban, don't care. We'll play Vi, no big deal.
Why would you, what? Why would you play Vi into Morgana?
I don't know.
That's a really, okay, so as a jungler, whenever I see a Morgana, I'm like, I'd want to play almost anything but Vi. I'll play Jarvan because I can lock people up still in the Cataclysm.
Yeah.
Because if you end up going in and you use your ultimate on top of somebody with Black Shield, you only screw yourself.
You just sit there going, ha!
Yeah, you're up in the air for actually quite a long time.
Yeah.
And actually, if you time the Black Shield a little too late,
yeah, you just like fly for a while.
Yeah, you fly. But here's the reason why, is because you become spell immune to the knockdown.
Yep.
So you're actually up in the air longer once you get uppercut, and then somebody like Black Shields you, you're like, she hits the ground, but you're like, wee.
Yeah, I've been uppercutted.
So it's actually worse to Black Shield somebody in the middle of the assault and battery.
Keep that in mind, support players. Don't screw me out of those.
Be faster.
be faster, or just don't do it at all. This is one of those not better late than never situations.
Yes.
Better never than late, Black Shield.
Keep
it in mind. Keep it in mind. But Lorelo, his second game now in the NA Challenger Series. The Rumble was great. Had like a 9-something KDA, I want to say. 5-1-8, 13 KDA, sorry, on Rumble in his first game. Now he gets a rally that was banned away from him. His most played in solo queue, I believe.
Yep.
So scary things here, Rux. Pay attention. Keep up. Do what you can. Rux is a player, though, I have a lot of faith in. He's a very strong player.
Yeah, Rux losing lane is not something you see every day. Even when he was on TIP in the LCS for a little bit during that part where he was filling in for Impact, he had some pretty good games. He was sitting there playing, and that actually made him want to be back in the LCS even more. He got that little taste.
Yeah.
Now he wants to go all the way again.
And jump the sort of need up a little bit, and we'll see. 10 seconds left to make their last pick.
Pulled the Nintendo. He got motivated.
Yeah, it's true. You get a little taste, you're like, oh man, you're right. Like, you get on a team that's performing a little bit better. In the case of Nintendo, where it's like, okay, yeah, I can win some games. Let's go kick some ass. And Rux just getting the taste, like, yeah, I remember this. I, want to destroy some people. Sivir looks like she will make her return to the Challenger Series, and the Janna does come in for Rule 18. So exactly as you kind of predicted here, the sort of pick the kinds of fights you want bot lane here for Final 5.
It's pretty crazy because they take the Janna fairly early on. You could pick your jungler right now and hide the Janna, but if you're afraid of Kenny taking it, that's why, because now they give up that Morgana is a solo laner. You don't know where,
It's true.
but you know it's a solo laner.
All right, so flex pick no longer here, but they do get rid of the black shield that would have blocked the disengage by Janna, so hey, maybe that means something. Janna also one of the best supplements to Sivir in the lane as well. It makes her very easy to shove lanes out. You can actually use the entire AD ratio on your full combo. It's really, really beautiful, and you actually get to cover a lot of her disengage weaknesses. They've also shut down Vi super hard by having Black Shield and Spell Shield to deal with it. Now I just want to see the Jungle Nocturne and think Card is going to be sad.
I don't know if we're going to see a Jungle Nocturne.
I don't think we are.
I mean, no Porpoise Pops here.
That's
but the Spell Shield, the Black Shield, a lot of things to shut her down. And the Sivir, this is actually Veritas' first Sivir that we're seeing. He's been a very individualistic player with Graves 3 games in a row. That's all he's played, which kind of speaks to me that maybe he wants to start working more as a team. Because Graves just strikes me as, I have a lot of armor and magic resistance just in case somebody gets to me and my team doesn't peel. I have individualistic, like I can take care of myself. I have this range damage. I can be a spellcaster. I can auto attack. It's fine. It's like very well rounded.
It can be useful in like really short stints.
Sivir is a little more reliant on her team. No mobility, has to outplay with Spell Shield, but also is all about that ultimate and getting people into the fight.
Yeah, and you have to oftentimes pop that early to make sure you can like get away from the ranges of things, right? Can't innately get away from things like Jarvan, so
and
some gameplay required.
Something else I want to tack on there is shoving waves is a big team thing too.
Yeah.
Because if you shove a wave up and your team isn't in a position to capitalize on what you just did, then it's wasted and you actually hand gold over to the enemy team for free.
Sure, yeah.
So if you shove up with Sivir very quickly, you can open up the map for your team if they take advantage of that.
Yeah.
Which is another thing that makes their team oriented.
Yep. Someone's going to be stuck under their turret in full view, clearing a wave, and they have to like do it right to not lose minions under the turret. If they don't show, it's like 150 gold lost and everyone's happy. If they do show up, you have a 5v4 where you're not accounted for anything. Thresh comes in to supplement Ahri here in the matchup, so a lot of very single target focused champions here. Aurelia and Vi to wreck the backline. Ahri to do whatever the heck she wants to do because she's mobile. No AD carry shown for CLG Black, even though they know the bot lane matchup. They are showing their mid laner for sure and saying, hey, if you want Morg mid against Ahri, it's right there for you.
Yeah. I mean, that's not a bad matchup at all.
Yeah.
Morg mid shoves really hard. Ahri's monocosts are actually quite decent in counter shoving.
Yeah.
Like, she's not the best CSer under turret either. You don't really...
It's true.
You have a hard time kind of controlling where your Foxfire is going to go. So you have to, like...
last hit for you, but...
Exactly, but you have to be, like, auto and hope the turret doesn't hit that one. Like, you have to have enough attack speed, too.
Yeah.
To get caster minions fairly easily. I do like Kenny on the Thresh. He's 3-1-10 on that. Previously in the game, we saw him win on broadcast last week.
Yeah.
So I like him on these playmakers, because that's what Kenny is a playmaker.
Yes.
He's not somebody who sits by and lets the game happen. He wants to make plays.
Yeah, he's a former, like, Aurelia Riven main top lane player, like, just wants to go split push.
Top of solo queue every time I see him.
Yeah, he's a very, very strong player, and he's got to turn those tendencies a little bit down when you're support. 1v1ing, less likely, but getting to make cool plays happen.
Much less likely.
Much less likely, after all. That's true. Last 2 picks here now for Final 5. We're going to figure out where Morgana goes and what the jungler ends up being. The hovers right now are Rumble and Pantheon, which would put Morgana into the mid lane. And it means that they had all this time to decide what they wanted to face Aurelia with, and they said Rumble is going to be the choice here. And it will be Rux heading to the top lane with that. And as time runs out, Heaventime will be playing the Pantheon. Now, it's a champion we haven't seen excel so far in the Challenger Series, but Heaventime feeling comfortable to play it.
I mean, Pantheon with extra movement speed and a black shield is really scary. It's hard to peel him when he gets in. Also, this is Heaventime, the guy who's the shot caller of the team. There's no bigger jungler go button than I'm falling on top of their team. You better come help me.
Push them into this little circle and we'll hit them. And it's actually a big enough circle that the arc second of that circle is actually pretty big as well. Just a callback for all you guys who've been watching from the first series of the day. And I like this team comp because I love Sivir Morg as a combo. Like, Morg loves getting movement speed so that she can run in and keep the soul shackles on. Rumble has great follow-up off of Morgana. There's also a really good mid lane matchup because you have a targeted stun into Dark Binding.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways to screw up Ahri in this matchup, and not a lot of ways for Vi to counterattack when you can just black shield her punch. So I actually kind of liked how this mid lane's going to go for Final 5. Their bot lane, until we see the AD carry, I feel like should be fine. Janna Sivir's good. I don't know Rumble versus Aurelia. That's the only thing I don't know if Final 5 has much of an advantage here for.
Rumble versus Aurelia is kind of a wash. They both kind of do well against each other. Aurelia, it's a little harder for her at the start, since the fact that Rumble can overheat himself, run into the wave, shove it faster because she's all auto attack based, single target, and then he just goes in for the melee with the bonus overheat. So Rumble actually has a really good time against Aurelia early on. Later on, if she gets a little bit ahead, she can solo him.
Just destroys the guy. Yeah, there is some gank assistance for Aurelia, being that she will likely be injured more so than Rumble for the entire laning phase, has the stun, and since so many Aurelias are maxing their equilibrium strike early, it's going to be probably a 1.5 second stun.
I absolutely love that that started happening.
Combo in for Vi. Yeah, it's really good for what you expect to happen in top lane, which is kill a guy for 1 gank, lane's free, go on from there.
And the thing too is it's about 280 magic damage at max rank, I believe.
Yeah, it's high.
It's high. That's a higher end base damage spell.
Yeah.
It's based off of AP, so it's not that big,
it's not going to scale that hard.
The base damage is crazy.
But yeah, level 9.
That's why you max it first. And the gank assistance on it is crazy.
Yeah, 2 seconds slow, 2 seconds stun. Both those are good. Jinx is the last pickup here for Stixxay. His disengage will be the fact that his team is fighting, and Thresh might lantern him out. But otherwise, a hard-to-live Jinx when a Pantheon and Rumble are dropping things on top of you. So we'll see if that works out. I actually think Trish would have been pretty nice here just because he could have been self-sufficient.
Yeah.
But hey, if Kenny plays well, he's fine.
Stixxay, he's always a very consistent point of this team.
True.
As well. He's always a really good performer. In their games so far, like we saw him up against Veritas scoreline-wise. He's performing a little bit better. He does have one more win than Veritas. And he's also with a support that isn't like 100% either at the moment. Kenny is still having to reel in some tendencies of his.
New to the role.
And it's going to take some time for both of these supports to synergize with their AD carries.
Yeah. Well, we'll see who gets kind of the jump start on that synergy a bit sooner. Of course, it is a very big deal to make sure your team is on the same page. One of the biggest things is being good at nonverbal communication.
Oh, yeah.
And what I mean by that is just kind of being on the same page where you expect like, oh, hey, this guy walked this far forward. We both know to jump that guy to get the free trade, to get 400 bonus damage on him. And then we back out because, again, we know not to overchase. Like, getting those things where you instinctively know the right play and don't have to say, hey, hit this guy. That's already too late.
Yep.
So these guys being on the same page, holding the line together, kind of fighting the same champions at the right time, getting the right targets, all that's very good. We'll see if these guys have those tendencies worked out together, if they played enough duo queue, enough scrims to get them into that. That's the goal. That's the dream. We'll see if these teams can do it.
There's always that invisible line between the AD carry and the support. You want to hold that line. As soon as one person breaks that line, the other team can walk up and harass the person who's out of position.
Yeah.
And then it's free trade, because at that point, it's like both Jinx and Thresh are in range of Sivir.
Yeah.
Janna is not in range to return damage. So it's just Sivir. So it's 1 auto attack to 2. Math is not that hard.
Yeah. The best way I actually saw it described, I think it was by MIA, is he basically... So every champion of the game has what you want to call a threat range. you draw a circle around. This is like, if you are here, I can impose my will on you.
Yeah.
And you think of the two champions as a Venn diagram. They each have their circle, and right where those circles intersect, that's where you want to put an enemy. Put the enemy at the intersection of where both of you are in range, and ideally, you're only kind of on one side of a circle, so you can 2-on-1 a guy, and the other guy kind of can't hit back. And that's the dream in the duo lane. That's why you try to stick somewhat close together to kind of increase the area where both circles overlap.
Nice. Thinking back to that first game where we had so many poke champions, Venn diagrams everywhere, and they're huge circles of threat.
A lot of giant Venn diagrams were in these games overall. And we'll see now what the teams do as they mill about the rift. Looks like it will be a recall and a lane swap by CLG Black, although maybe the same thing here for the Sivir of Veritas. Nope. Was recalling and Tribrush, stopped that. We will have a lane swap game. And with Aurelia looking to double jungle with Vi, looks like CLG Black are already a slight page ahead, maybe.
Gonna have to see. They do get the lane swap up to the top lane. And both of these teams actually have pretty good turret killers as AD carries. Sivir shoves the wave a little bit faster. Janna supplements her damage. But then the attack speed from Jhin.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Kenny. Hold on. Okay, I guess he can't be killed. Rux and Heaventime actually shared XP, though, so Heaventime doesn't have the ability to stun and pressure Kenny, and he knows he's safe, so he sits there, trinkets, and auto-attacks the poor guy, lands the flight. Like, Kenny's getting free damage here. He actually ignites Heaventime.
Kenny, sometimes
Kenny's
you don't get
going
solo
hard,
kills. What are you doing?
Smite gets used. This camp will give level 2 right now, and he's got a stun. Kenny flays and walks back. The flash stun comes in. Here comes Rule 18, flashes away. He just walks out calmly. YOLO.
Oh, this game is going to be great.
I'm excited already. By the way, Rule 18, take note that's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah. Oh! I stopped the back.
Kenny is a jerk. Actually, that's his fault, though. He recalled in ward range. He knew that ward went down.
He saw that. Oh, man. That was pretty big. The fact that, like, what would have been even better is if they hadn't have split experience. Heaventime, like, Rux wouldn't get level 2, but Heaventime would have been level 2 earlier, and then he would have been able to do some damage to jump onto Kenny, and Kenny wouldn't have been able to continue the relentless assault.
Yeah.
But he does get a flash for it. He gets 2, actually, for his flash and his ignite.
Yeah, that's pretty good stuff, then. Now, we look at the mid lane matchup. Now, Final 5 wanted to play Morgana mid. They had the chance of flex picking at top lane instead. Easy went for Ahri. And the early, actually, game is going well. Tormented Soils actually failed to last hit a couple of minions here, and Gate nursing an early CS deficit. Now we have to see Easy trying to last hit under turret. Gate wants to throw it with a binding, lands it. There's the puddle afterwards. Ignite could be the kill. Easy right off the bat, has the flash away. The Q healed him. Last tick brings him to 7 health. And Easy puts a Q out to hit minions and heal with the passive to get away.
That spell vamp off of that is what saved him there. Just barely getting out. And he's still hanging around this lane. He has potions to burn. If he eats another binding like that, it's the end of him. He's playing far enough back that it's not a huge deal, so Gate just keeps the pressure on. They kept tabs on Think Card too, so they knew Think Card wasn't around the mid lane.
Yeah, Heaventime, despite being counter-jungled by the enemy support, actually managed to do a pretty good job of still being effective around this map. Lurlo trying to be held down in the lane swap. 12 CS, though, actually still getting some money.
To 0.
Yeah, Rux is level 2 at level 4 of Lurlo. He's still facing a freeze. Kenny's going to go for the hook, but Heaventime is here anyway. There's Flame Choppers down, but the damage is still pretty good. But it's 3-2 versus 3-4, so a big level leading. Six is going to keep going. Ooh, good dodge in the zap, but the Electro Harpoon might not be enough. Kenny throws the lantern in and says, Six, say, let's do it. Never mind.
Nope, still zoning him off of EXP. That's the whole goal of this lane swap, and it's working out perfectly. They got the freeze. Now the lane is pushing towards CLG Black.
Yeah.
That used to be an old trip code for a different team. So yes, Counter Logic Gaming Black. I have to say the full thing now, just because.
Yep.
Here comes Think Card to the top lane, though.
Oh, man.
Rux has his flash.
He does have flash. Who's going to pull aggro?
Oh, he flashed early.
Flash early. Oh, no. Flame Choppers are down. Who's going to pull aggro? Looks like that is Think Card. He's trying to run away. He flashes for it. First blood goes to Kenny. 6A gets out with aggro. There's the kill and a lot of pressure top lane.
That's the first blood onto Rux. They harassed him at his blue.
Oh, Heaven Time, be careful. Will they go for it? The answer looks like no. Actually, that's smart. They were too low on health. Here's the TP in as well. He wants this fight.
ThinkCard's still here.
Dodges zap. Rux rejoins. Nice hook.
On the
will cut
choppers.
off his retreat. And wow, ThinkCard was still there. Gets the kill picked up. 2-0. Trade bottom turret for it, but worth it.
There's so much pressure on this top lane, though. They go after Rux. They go after the consistent point of Final 5 to shut him down. And this gives Aurelia a really good time in comparison. Rux is still sitting on a Ruby Crystal and not much more. He's basically got the same amount of gold as Rule 18 at this point. Rule 18 actually might have more.
Let's see. Rule 18 versus...
I would think so.
Well, actually, shoot. My game's still paused, actually. I don't have any information for you right now.
I will... Yeah, Rux is actually behind Rule 18 in gold.
That's rough.
Yep.
That's when you know you're not having a very good time here.
I mean, so is Lurlo.
Yeah, but he's at least got 1,400 gold. Like, I guess his CS equalized what that turret kill gave to Rux. Lorlo, yeah.
Lorlo, there we go.
I know, it's hard to get used to. I actually asked him where it came from. And he's like, it's my first WoW character. It's just a name. There's like no meaning behind it. It's just characters. So maybe he's not offended if you get it wrong. I don't know.
Lorlo.
It's not like there's like an emotional attachment, right?
I don't know. Some people are really attached to their names.
He seemed kind of like, yeah, I don't care whatever about it. That's what I got out of how he described it. Hold on, though. ThinkCard still trying to pick on poor Rux. No flash, no ult. Well overextended with nothing to do to get away. That will mean Dragon pressure for Final 5, but again, it's 2015. This first Dragon for a kill doesn't always mean very much. Good dodge in the bind. Out goes easy.
And you talked about the gank assistance that Lorlo would have in that top lane. He is maxing the Equilibrium Strike first, so he does have the assistance for ThinkCard to come in. They're pressuring turrets, though, from Final 5 side. So they're going to be able to get this one, the second one of the game for them. But the hook!
The mid-morg making it happen pretty nicely. In comes the jump. ThinkCard's got nowhere to go. He gets rooted up. Rule 18 unfortunately steals the kill. Ignite and Puddle onto the back line. Kenny flashes. One auto attack takes the kill down, but in comes Lurlo. But maybe a bit too much for him. He does take down Heaven Time, though. So worth it on his case. CLG Black actually 4-2 in kills.
And they end up shooting ahead in gold off of the kills and off of the turret taking, too. And they're still keeping the pressure up.
Wow, mid lane under fire. They traded 2 kills for 2 overall, but the Morgana push and the sustain she gets allows them to keep going. Early Blasting Wand.
And now they're just rotating towards the top lane here. Looks like they actually want to just clear out the area. Rule 18's going to do some bush checking, and they all back. Lose the top turret. 6A in the bottom, still farming up. Highest CS in the game on this Jinx. Yep. 6A is just biding his time.
LBF sword was at least matched, so the AD carry should be close to equal.
The hook here. Heaven Time getting the flash, and then ThinkCard immediately into the Soul Shackle there. Ends up getting him picked off. Easy almost gets dropped here, too. Very close, but Veritas with the flash forward to pick up Kenny. And then Lorlo.
Take you a long time for that one.
I know, Lorlo. It's like your lore is low.
Yeah, like you don't understand what happened in Champions' backstories.
Yeah, so my knowledge, my points into lore is low.
Hey, exactly. There. We're learning daily here. Uh-oh, the engage though on a Rule 18. Charm will not land, but he jumps back in for easy. Got to be careful. ThinkCard, though, will pay his life for this one as the team re-engages. Gate doing plenty of damage here, but they still take Heaven Time back down. Lurlo, nice charm by Easy. That should get them almost enough time, but Gate will flash over the wall thanks to a shield from Rule 18.
2v1 down bottom, though. While all of this is happening, they're forcing Rux off the turret. Poor Rux. He goes straight for a Giant's Belt. Not a Haunting, guys. He goes Giant's Belt.
I don't know if I can agree with that one, though. Even though you are behind in gold and behind in levels, you still have to do your job. Health on Rebel doesn't mean almost anything.
You miss out on item spikes with your spell penetration. Your Sork shoes plus your Haunting guys is going to be delayed, so you're not doing true damage to AD carries and mid laners at that point and supports. This is like a really, really, really early Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Like, that's what this would eventually be.
Yeah.
But it's early, but he's probably not going to go for it.
Oh, wow. Great skill shield by Veritas. ThinkCard shows up, trying to turn it back around. Kenny's nearby as well. ThinkCard ulti is down from the previous fight, otherwise he would have been able to chase down Veritas. Rule 18 having no ult and no mana would not have saved Veritas.
Veritas outplaying there with the spell shield.
Yeah. Would have been a stun. Lorlar was super low, and with, I would guess, rank 4 Equilibrium Strike meant almost certain death for the poor champion. But everyone still holds on. The game stays within 2 kills of each other, but CLG Black, having equalized the turret score, means that they are well ahead in gold here, especially to Stixay's farm. And Jinx so far has stayed safe in the game. Early Zerg Greaves makes him a better turret killer. Lets him run around the map a little bit better as well.
A lot of good turret killers in this game. Both AD carries are ready to do their job and drop these turrets early. Stixay is actually in the top lane where there isn't a turret for him to take.
Yeah, pushing mid against Morgana, not likely to be a good use of your time, so they say screw it, not going to be part of this whatsoever. It's hard to make plays on that Morg in the mid lane, and she's 0-0-3 for a reason. Looking at early Abyssal Scepter, another champion looking for that kind of item. Even though he's facing single AP, it will help Rux do more damage, though, as Rux continues to build into the components of Riley's Crystal Scepter. With the blasting one there, he's starting to scale up. Oddly enough, only down 19 CS now. It's not the worst disparity. I mean, it's still there, but...
Yes. Oh, Gate, though, he might not still be here for long.
Black Shield, Pops ult, nice dodge in the binding. He didn't save it for long enough. Charm lands, Hook does as well. Gate's got to be careful. His ulti's down, his flash not up either. Rux splitting the team back with an equalizer, looks for a bit of damage on it easy. And they do force CLG Black to run away. Trade of ults.
Really good equalizer there. Continuing to do the damage on Kenny. He didn't want to go straight through it, so he went off to the left, still taking damage from it, though. No AD carry of Veritas and no top laner involved in that fight from CLG Black. Dragon in a minute, so they're allowed to set up for this Dragon. They will have Rumble Ultimate up in time for it. They'll be up just in time.
Okay. So as long as Final 5 wait and don't get too impatient, they can get that back up. Gates ulti not far away as well on Morgana. They will be missing Janaz, I'm pretty sure, but they can maybe make do without. CLG wanted to push down the mid lane, and they might have a good chance of this one as Stixay is getting his minions gone. But Janaz Sivir, you know, they're good at wave clearing. You knock them into the air for a second and a half, and you just throw boomerangs at them. And, you know, it's very fitting that Veritas is playing the boomerang champion, being that he's a former Australian foreign exchange student. He learned a natural proficiency with the tool.
It's gone boomerang with him. Challenge him to knifey spoony someday.
Gate takes some of the farm as well in the mid lane. Rux ulti up in about 10 seconds. Final 5 right away start Dragon off of their really good ward control. Scuttler, pink ward in the pit. It looks like CLB, with Bai in the top lane, are not even trying to contest this. This is the team with a 2,000 gold lead, not trying to do anything about this. No turrets going down, nothing.
They ping Lorlo. They do have the ultimate from Heaven Time, but they're not going to go for it. They decide they have to back, they have to deal with the shove top. Because this is where CLG Black are rotating towards.
Wow, they played the long con. They sent Vi top lane. They tried to steal the blue buff. They showed everyone in the top lane. Wow, actually, incredible play here by CLG Black. I didn't see it coming.
Here comes the ultis.
You know what? Yeah, they might not see Panther coming either. Stun up into Stixay. He takes the lantern just in time, but in comes Janna, and that's the kills. Rule 18 takes on Stixay. Kenny forced to flash away on Thresh, and looks like Rux and Heaven Time get revenge from 14 minutes ago. That's going to be the kill picked up. That is a 3-0 Final 5. They recalled in time to completely stuff that push.
A beautiful team fight there. Basically a team slaughter from Final 5. The ultimate from Rux on top of the ultimate from Heaven Time, so well positioned in comparison to where the rest of the team was coming in from. That was beautiful, and it gets them right back into the game.
And look at that. Quick, easy push in the top lane. As a result of that team fight, the Pantheon jumping into the back line. Look, he might have started that game 0-3-0, but he got a kill. He got himself 2 assists in that one, and Final 5 right back into things. 2 drags to 0. They're up in turrets, they're up in kills, they're up in gold. They flipped that game off of the unfortunate push by CLG Black.
Positioning of that equalizer was absolutely beautiful. It was diagonal upward, and it forced them to go into the jungle where they didn't want to be, because that's where Janna and Morgana were coming from. Really good right in there by Rux.
CLG Black, though, at the same time, top got pushed out, so they push in mid. Instead, Hook will land, but the binding by Kenny, or onto Kenny rather, is going to stop him from doing much more with this. Turrets getting traded back and forth as the teams are ready to push as soon as the enemy team recalls. And they equalize the scoreline once again. Draga is now the only thing differentiating really these two teams. The red buff also acting like a boomerang.
Yeah. So going back and forth. It came back to him though. He eventually got it. Rylai's Crystal Scepter completed first item for Rux, and now it looks like he's going to start going towards his Zhonya's Hourglass.
Very strange build.
Yeah, no spell pen.
Yeah, it makes him not really threaten the back line. He's not going to do good damage to Stixxay, but he will hold the front line against Lorlo a lot better if they choose to play just a longer form of team fight. Maybe that ends up being worth it.
I mean, you're going to play a longer form of team fight with this composition in the first place. You have a Morgana, right? You'll pick somebody off, and then you'll usually have like a longer resulting team fight. Morgana's main damage output is when somebody's bound on top of something. It like takes it. A lot of this take damage. You don't really expect a Sivir to blow anybody up either.
I just expect the first 5 seconds to mean so much. It's the duration that Ricochet is going to last and hit the whole team. It's the duration of like Morgana ult into Q into like a second Q and the puddle doing all the damage. The duration of Equalizer. Like 5 seconds is like a really big window that you want to do everything in. I'm just sort of surprised they're not choosing to be bursty in that window. But hey, it's the way they're choosing to play it. We will see how it plays out.
Like you said, doesn't threaten squishies with that build as much without the penetration. But with his build, he's a little tankier. If they focus him, it's not the right choice.
Yeah. Because
you'll have the Zhonya's on top of the extra HP very early on. And it allows him to chase people down more. And with the Sivir, looks like what they're aiming to do.
All right, the chase is real. These teams are 100 gold apart. Oh, wow, Rule18 happens to dodge, but
he's the ultimate.
Warding by himself, gets picked off, but they trade for Stixxay. There's a big equalizer. Looks like a minus sign here, but in comes Gate. He gets blown up by Vi, can't finish the ulti, and out goes ThinkCard. They trade 2 for 2 in this fight.
Bring
Lorlo,
the wolf pit.
He's got nowhere to go.
There's
he's gonna stun Rux and try to run.
That's the Rylai's right there.
Yeah, he's gonna die. So hey, final 5. They, Rule18 kind of baits it in. So go ahead and go for me. I don't really care. The rest of the team able to follow up, and they get the kills.
He separated them, and Stixxay actually ended up right near Heaven Time's ultimate. Heaven Time was channeling his ultimate right by that entrance to the blue buff. So he comes in, immediately exhausts Stixxay, and then they jump on him and take him out. Great equalizer follow-up from Rux, great positioning. They get the turret for it, and now final 5, slingshotting their way in.
3-2 on the map off of that team fight, and they push mid for it. So very good stuff in final 5. Off of some recalls, off of a 1.5k gold lead. Can look a setup for Dragon in a minute, and Baron in a minute and a half.
You see right there, the ultimate from Heaven Time off on the right. Rule18 with the separation puts Stixxay right into Heaven Time and Veritas. The cleanup, they trade support for AD carry, definitely worth trade there. And then Rux goes around the top, places the equalizer where he isn't, and then goes towards where their exit route is. Really well played there by Rux on the Rumble to know how to set it up and then what their exit option was. Because you're running straight into the Rumble at that point. Who has the Rylai's, who's going to slow you and let everybody catch up.
Yeah, it was interesting actually watching that play from the replay. It was actually entirely, the goal was Stixxay. The TP was already coming in. Janna, basically flashed Zephyr in to look for him. No, not flash, he didn't use it, but, walked in Zephyr and Tornado to look for Stixxay. He did get blown up first, and lo and behold, hard to fight. Heaven Time, though, looking to ward, gets jumped on. Black Shield's on, stopping the flay. And it means he gets to walk out.
18 seconds on Dragon, though. He can back. They do have his ultimate available. But it doesn't look like he's going to go for that. He hasn't backed just yet. He hasn't even started it. So he's going to stick around with this HP. Rule18 a little out of position.
Okay, bot's pushed out enough that he's probably safe here. Zap's going to land. Kenny. Good flash by Rule18 to realize Hook was going to kill him. Gate, nice to using the Q and the W, actually breaks the Black Shield, makes Charm land. Gate's got nowhere to go, doesn't have a Zhonya's. That's a quick kill picked up just in time for Dragon. Final 5, 2 split up to make that one work. And CLG Black are in control.
The thing with mid lane Morgana is you put about 3 points into your W for wave clear, then you max your Q, so you have almost no points into your E, and it's all based off your AP. So immediately blown up there by just a simple rotation of spells from Easy.
Well played by Ari to set that all up, though. Landed the skill shots. That was a big thing there.
Yeah. In order, too, because if you throw your charm out first, it gets absorbed.
Yep, waits for the RW to land and then goes for the rest of it. So, good thing Stixxay will be pushing out the bot lane. His team is supporting him in Fog of War in case he gets jumped, but of course no one's going to be silly enough to do that. So down goes the wave. They're not looking to push bottom anymore. But they could set up for Baron if they wanted. It's early.
Yeah.
It's always an option, though.
CLG Black have a lot of pick potential with their composition. They're very skirmish-oriented. Final 5 want the team fights. Final 5 want the clustered 5-on-5s. And CLG Black want to pick you off before a fight starts. And then, hopefully, for them, run you down, chase you down with Ahri. Because they're all pick and skirmish, except for Jinx.
They are pick and skirmish. Yeah, she's the team fight insurance policy, essentially. If it all goes the way it, just kind of hashes out and nothing really happens, and she gets to blow you up with rockets. So CLG Black actually looking for, in a weird way, actually even longer fights than Final 5 are, because they give time for Jinx to do her job.
Oh, gate. They know somebody's in there, they just don't know who yet. Chomper's
spot, they see, hey, there's a pink ward there, we should kill that at some point. The ward controlled by Final 5 all the same means no one's really willing to do so. Zap kills off some minions. Heaventime has green and pink wards in inventory together. But Lorlo does get the Scuttler. So no way to sneak Baron here for Final 5.
That'd be very risky.
Oh, sure.
Very, very risky.
There's a lot of vision right now for CLG Black down there.
Veritas
dragon up.
Good spot right now. 3-0-5. Up against Stixxay. He's a little down in items, actually, in comparison to Stixxay.
He's actually got Phantom Dancer money right now.
He has more money, but he hasn't spent it yet.
And that time the charm does miss. They land the zap, but that's not going to be enough. They find the engagement. Heaventime, though. He's forced to flash away. Trying to clear wards.
Has red buff.
Really aggressive. Looks for Stixxay. They've got Pantheon coming in. Wow, he solos him out. Takes him down. Kenny's now getting jumped on as well. Final 5 had the team, and CLG Black did not.
Kenny's like, take the lantern. Just take the lantern, Stixxay. Eats the back end of the boomerang, and he still has flash and heal available to him.
Ouch. So Stixxay really mispositioning. Did not realize how grim that fight was going to be. Final 5 pushing with this advantage. Veritas is low, though. He's got to be aware of Lorlo. But the equalizer just to buy some time. He flashes and gets him anyway. He's going to lock up Heaventime, maybe, but Janna tries to save him. The burn. It's still going to be the Janna dying. They trade back onto easy, making it overall a 2-for-2. That turret stays alive.
What is happening? The ultimate from Rux coming out to just try and zone them and deal some damage. But Veritas is taking all the Transcendent Blades while that is happening. And Lorlo sees the perfect opportunity to just jump in and take that kill.
He's 7-1, by the way.
Yes.
He's like the reason CLG Black are winning. I mean, it started out with some great top lane plays, and they did some turret dives, but Lorlo was everything.
Blades. He's just like,
bam.
Transcendent Blade. Flash, Blade Surge.
His Ignite got it.
He gets exhausted,
no red buff,
but he doesn't care. He just, he's in a really good spot to start running away with the game.
Yep. Hex Drinker second, because he is dealing with double AP overall. And then going for the Randuin's or Frozen Heart next, could be either. I personally really love Frozen Heart. We'll see if that ends up being his choice. The CDR, I think, is just massive on Aurelia. Blue buff, though, under control. Neither team really controlling enemy buffs for the most part. It's mostly been about wave control and then the dragon attempts. Thinkart finds the ward. And let's see. 600 gold separate these teams. Actually, the entire day has been about very, very close gold leads.
And then something just starts getting the one team into the lead.
Yeah.
Very, very slowly.
Later on in the game, it's like the individual picks.
Yep.
The one misplay just opens up the map.
And sometimes it's a team misplay too.
Sure.
We saw the Baron rush, which they couldn't do, but then the outplay there.
Yeah.
Fusion. So this game is setting up to be more of the same. Both teams very equally matched, very well matched. If CLG Black win this, they tie enemy for first.
That's true. If Final 5 take it, though, they join a gigantic 2-2 tie with, like, practically every team.
Yeah, and they pull CLG Black into that zone as well.
And we'll see. After this, only 6 games left for every team, and they're all kind of within 1 or 2 games of each other still, so individual matches mean a whole heck of a lot. CLG Black on the retreat. Mid lane turret is quite low, I believe. The wave clear comes in. They're not too afraid. They stay on the left-hand side. They got minions to tank for them. Veritas with Black Shield. It's okay. Just run away.
Yeah.
Kenny hooks.
Oh.
He gets Gate. He's got to be careful. Zonius is up, though. Can they make this happen? There's the dive. There's the Jinx ulti. They look for Think Card. Roulette kites back, and they kill off the over-aggressive Vi. Kenny gets slowed. Big damage from Stixay, though. He forces Rux back, and Lorlo gets his 8th kill of the game, but Gate separates the whole team, and they get 3 kills back on this one. CLB now only 2 members alive. It's their 2 big carries. And Lorlo is dead. And they got time to push his turret down.
Damn.
The wave comes in like 20 seconds. So never mind, they don't.
That team fight was absolutely crazy.
Veritas, they really want this fight. Gate's gonna die for it, maybe. He doesn't. He charged. Oh my God! So many things get flashed and not Stixay tries to kill off Rule 18. He will trade one back. Easy's got to be careful, but there's so much time now for Final 5 to push on in. Vi's back alive, but Ori's got to heal. Aurelia's up in 2 seconds. That means F5 will run back. But they trade support for AD carry.
Here comes the TP though.
Oh man, Orlo wants this. TP as well from Rux, though, goes in, gets Morgana, now wants Veritas, but a nice black shield, or sorry, spell shield keeps him just alive. Lorlo kites back, but they want Heaven Time. There's the stuns in for Think Card. They will likely pick him up with another slow, and yes, they will. A 2 for 0 on the backside of that fight. Great teleport. Lorlo continuing to carry.
Yeah, they couldn't even kite towards Rux because they had Easy coming in here, and here they come.
It's actually CLG Black who want to kite towards Rux. Lorlo sets up the kill for Easy to get some gold back on other members of the team. 3 for 0 on the back end of that push. This Aurelia doing so much work, 9-2-2.
Hashtag one throw behind. The team that's going to win is 1 throw behind.
And it happens over and over. Veritas, though, will get the Dragon, but CLG Black are going to go for Baron off this one. That's Dragon 3. I don't think the red team cares. There is a Janna around. She's got a ward.
That's all she is. It's just around. Can't do anything about this.
Down goes Baron Nashor, 27-30 into the game. CLG Black. That only puts them equal in gold, though, as the farm is actually pretty big for a couple members of Final 5. And with a 2-turret lead, it really only means that the global gold gets equalized.
Man, going back to the fight that happened previously, the separation was just great. Like, I would love to see it again, but Rux getting his equalizer in the perfect spot. They kite off to the back left. Rule 18 stays. Good separation with his ultimate. His Q across 4 people was just, you couldn't ask for a better play from Final 5 in that fight. Afterwards, not so much. Overstay, CLG collapse on them, and just really Lorlo. We're going to see it again. This is really beautifully done. They try to engage, and you're going to see here, they go in because the black shield is down. But here comes Heaven Time. He can't get his ultimate off. There's the equalizer across everybody, and then they kite to the left. They have to go through the equalizer to get here. 4-person knockup from the Janna. They walk right around the Flame Chompers, and then they continue the fight. Lorlo dives in. Gate zones off the backline. Stixay has almost nothing to say in this fight. And then it just continues to trail off. They get the turret and open up the base, but at what cost? They end up giving up so much for it, back and forth, and the Baron ends up. So it's an open inhibitor versus a Baron buff here.
Gates on the backside, catches Lorlo, but it's a high tenacity Aurelia. Barely feels it. Back out she goes. Interestingly, they are not, well, I guess she doesn't have teleport, but they're not using Lorlo to split push to create an advantage. They are, of course, afraid of the Pantheon engage, but it seems like it's hampering the options so much. They're actually letting top wave crash from the turret. They're not cleaning it up. CLG Black are trying so hard to like push down mid with Baron, but it doesn't mean anything. They're just giving up gold. Final 5 get the Raptors as well. Final 5's defense is great. CLG Black having some trouble with their shot calling in the late game.
I mean, Morgana with a ton of AP in the mid lane, maxing that W fairly early on, is going to give you that type of wave clear alongside a Sivir. They do throw Lorlo into the bottom lane.
Oh, hold on.
Try a Death Rush.
Zap gets Rule 18, but Sivir will just push the team into the mid lane. Yeah, just take the inhib down. Now the question is, which way do they retreat? Does CLG Black cut them off on the mouth of their base? Lorlo is far away. Big cards get found. Just a bit of damage, and out goes Final 5. Good Tornado, good Binding.
Half his HP, so that's enough to dissuade them from continuing the fight. He'd have to dive in, but the fact that they can do half his HP that quickly, wouldn't be surprised if they do the other half while he's jumping in. So he has to back off. Now, they have to counter middle, because everybody on Final 5 has to back. They kind of sheep herded them over off to the left and say, you can't get back to the middle, we have the inside track.
So Final 5, for what it's worth, could have chosen to push top lane with the minion wave they had there. Instead, they choose to defend and try to counteract what's going on with the rest of this.
Here's the engage.
Heaventime ults in.
They're going to be in a good position here.
Lantern comes out. Who's going to take it? Stixay is going to be the one. Pinkard's still around. Heaventime still tanky, still on the front line. Team walks back. They do save the mid tier 2. Coordination by Final 5 does keep it barely up. But a big wave bottom means the rotation happens. However, AD carry and support are still holding mid. Bot lane, though, already under fire. CLG Black have to be afraid of Veritas. Can they stay? The answer is no. But they are still wearing these things down. The vision control also does side with CLG Black on this side of the jungle. And in fact, for it, they find Rux. He pops his Zonias. The team is here. Flame Choppers and Vox. The charm. There's the kill right away.
Can't even
flash. For nothing.
Can't even flash in that situation. Once you get hit with the first CC, the follow-up is way too strong. Rux gets picked off. He's back in 28 seconds. He has his flash. He also has his teleport. But with those seconds of a 4-on-5, that allows CLG Black to get these turrets that they've been kind of chipping away at for the last 5 minutes.
And look at this, a big wave top. It actually just, that went its way on its own. That got pushed into the top lane turret and then...
Oh my god, it's so low.
Yep. Bam, bam, down it goes. A whole bunch of tier 2 turrets all just fell in a row by CLG Black. Good job using the 5v4 they had on the map, and they get themselves back to 1,800 gold ahead. They have to be worried about the recalls, though. Thinkard Q comes back up. He gets away, but Baron, not on the menu. Dragon, though, is in 1 minute.
Just the ward control from CLG Black, much higher than that of Final 5, which is to be expected with the fact that they have a Sightstone and Heaventime does not. So this is just kind of, you look at the map and you see that manifesting itself. CLG Black are in the position, though, to shove up. They have all this information as well throughout the jungle, so they're in a very good spot to continue pressure on tier 2s. They don't have that middle inhib, though. That's the thing working against them right now.
It actually makes it more impressive that CLG Black managed to do all that with the inhib death. That Final 5 had to respect them so darn much that that was the team with the advantage. Inhib comes back soon. Dragons in 30. Final 5 spending a lot of effort. Gate, though, takes so much damage. If CLB were there, he would have died. But only one member. Blue buff will go to Ari, it seems. Lorlo takes the zap in case he came out. On his own team, never mind. Blue buff does go over to Easy's Ari. Bot lane gets cleared out. Dragons in 7 seconds here. And CLB haven't even tried to get ward control back.
Death brush.
Essentially.
Not even a brush. Death river.
Doesn't need a brush. The first one gets blue trinketed.
Oh, they see Rux, though.
Binding gets Lorlo. Hook goes back in. There's the equalizer. There's the engage. They're going hard for it. Oh, man. Gate will bring back the team. Thinkard goes in and doesn't need to. He dies right away. Rux in the back lines. Kenny does go down to a bind, and Veritas now in the chase. He's got 2. He's going to make it 3, but the Q comes back in from Easy. Stopping it there on this one. 3-2 in this fight, though.
TP behind them.
Lorlo, it's a 2 versus 3. Lorlo looks for Gate. He's one auto attack from the kill, but can't quite get it. Slows down Heaventime. Will that be enough? He's trying. He's trying. Easy, though,
huge.
Has no way of chasing this. He dodges the binding. He slows down Heaventime, but gets stunned all the same. Nothing else picked up. Dragon still alive. Lorlo forces 3 members away by himself.
He didn't have his W up, and he didn't kill the caster minion when he queued to it.
Ouch.
That would have given him the reset to close the distance on Rule 18.
Thing is, he wasn't supposed to need the W on because there was a super minion granting it that 70 bonus armor.
Yeah.
That made the Triforce Q not do enough damage to kill it. So thankful mechanics there. All the same, CLG Black will still get themselves Dragon off of this 9, 2, and 5 Aurelia. She's getting herself more magic with this because she is not afraid of Sivir. But the problem is, this is the time where Sivir does matter. It's now a 4-item AD carry. If Veritas stays alive, he can solo carry these team fights.
He's been stepping up this game.
9, 2, and 9. It's basically Sivir versus Aurelia, the game show.
Does that give them the vision? He's going to have to walk up and place a ward. There they go.
Down to half health.
ThinkCard's there.
500 health. ThinkCard has flash and Q. He's going to go for it. Doesn't quite get it, though. It's blue team with Baron and the kill off ThinkCard. His 6th death of the game. Rux pops Zhonya's 2 kills get picked up. The ulti, nice flash. Jinx won't pick it up. Now Easy's off on the back lines. Gate pops the Zhonya's, will force the team away. Targets Think. Sticks there with the zap, gets the kill, but Veritas fires one back. It's a 3 versus 2 again. Lorlo is still alive. But again, the battle goes to Final 5.
They're just pushing Lorlo off of these fights, and they're pretty much ignoring Stixxay. Stixxay is off on the side. They don't even care about reaching him. Veritas is running down the team. He ate a face charm right there against Easy and didn't care. He just kept barreling through this fight. It's what happened last time, too. Veritas is going man mode these games.
They could take that dragon. They just don't have the vision control to know they could take it safely. They're afraid of getting collapsed on by Rumble and co. The Spidey senses tingle. Looks like they will be able to retreat safely, CLG Black. And indeed, out they go. Elixir of Iron, Aurelia, not really going to take much CC this game.
Now the Baron swapped hands. And this fight, just watching Veritas, he's great. His positioning between his hits is awesome. He pops the spell shield if he was the target for Lurlo's stun. And then he walks straight up, eats the charm, doesn't care, just gets the crit, and gets the HP back.
Bloodthirster, I believe Red Elixir and Janna Shield make it fairly safe. These are the reasons, by the way, that I like Frozen Heart on Aurelia. When you're ahead, you're not the target. Randuin's, it helps you chase because you got the movement speed slow. That's kind of nice, and it actually probably gave him some of the kills that he had. But when you no longer become the target, you need some way to matter defensively, and that's what Frozen Heart does. It gives you more stuns. It gives you the AoE attack speed slow, which matters a lot against Sivir. And basically, it's a really good job by Final 5 of playing around the fed Aurelia. Rux takes a big chunk of health, but who really cares? 11, 2, and 10. Now a QSS on Veritas as well means he's very hard to stop. They will look to re-go on the middle inhibitor kill. That happens indeed.
TPing down to the bottom lane from Rux. Doesn't want to walk it, wants to start pushing it up already.
Wants it pushed sooner because they think they still own the rotation. In fact, I believe they do. They have really good wards. Look at those 2 wards up and left of that second turret right there in front of them. There is no flank available. They can backdoor that. They have now grown themselves a turret lead.
And a large minion wave here.
It'll be hard to defend. A hook lands on the gate, but the binding on it Easy makes it even scarier. Look at the damage output on that poor Ahri. Forced to ult away. Sivir ult, though, means they re-engage and take the turret down. Now Kenny gets jumped on, pops the box, but he's going to drop right away to Veritas. His 12th kill of the game, and now 2 inhibitors dead. Final 5 of control.
Final 5 putting up a huge fight here and immediately turn the tables 30 minutes into the game. Fortunes have been reversed. CLG Black looked like they were going to start closing the game out when they got all of those tier 2 turrets and almost had that bottom one down. But the middle inhibitor early on gave Final 5 the pressure they need to put their foot down in the game and get a hold back on it.
And they really do hold this game now.
Yeah, the pressure they've been able to amount over time.
Yeah. The team now runs at 10% bonus move speed as long as they're around the Janna. She's also picked up Banner of Command. I believe she promoted that minion right there. It's on the screen.
It's going to run straight into Stixxay, though. No! Stixxay! Stixxay versus minion. He does a lot of damage to this. Oh, no!
No! He's going to get last. 52 gold.
Ah.
Goodbye, cannon minion.
It just sank into the ground and returned to the mother. Here's the death brush. They're trying to return somebody else into the ground. But they don't.
Black shield late.
Don't
just go up for a while.
Yeah, that's true. Haven't been seeing a lot of it. Gate's really quick on his black shields, but they're really premature. He's throwing them on people, and then CLG Black just wait until the black shield expires because they know the cooldown of it.
Yeah, it's a no cooldown Morgana build. Most top lane Morgs I see, more and more I'm seeing Morella and Omicron into cooldown boots. It's they have like almost permanent black shield at max rank. It's close to that. But a no CDR build for Gate, it's all burst damage. Death Cap looks like it's the next item as well, so continuing that trend.
Going towards the top lane now for Final 5. He just wants all that damage, clearing waves very quickly. And now, even more damage to these turrets too.
There we go. Turret falls quickly.
So many super minions to deal with from CLG Black's side. And their wave clear is okay. It's not the greatest in the world, though. Veritas just getting everything.
Not really willing to defend because the middle is under fire. Jinx has to wave through the hook heaven time, but don't fight this, guys. It's 4v5. Jumps in on a Veritas. They try to die, but Thinkard once again goes down with nothing to say for it. Easy, forced away by all the damage of everyone else. It's a 4v5. Inhibitor open, should be a pretty easy kill. They go right into easy, and oh, he's forced to Zonas. They do trade one back. Can Stixxay do enough? No, because Dark Binding says he has to die. Kenny forced to run away while on fire, and now on to the Nexus they go. Final 5, win the fight again. They're going to knock down Nexus turret number 1. They can't quite get number 2 as Easy comes back in. Veritas unwilling to run through the slow turret, intelligently so. But the top inhib does go down just now. They've still got minions to push in. There's still 15 seconds on this Vi's respawn. Turret number 2 goes down. Lolo takes 2 crits in a row, forced to run away. There's the Nexus kill, 41-minute game, and final 5 ties CLG Black in the series, and both these teams go 2-2 so far in the season.
14, 2, and 10 for Veritas that game.
Yep.
Sivir definitely carried that.
Yes.
A lot of team effort, but also Rule 18 having a much better game there. Playing to the strengths of his team, and also Heaven Times engages with his man drop were never off point. He was always, he never got caught using that ability. He was always on a very clean engage. And Rux, despite his build being a little different than what we're used to, it filled its purpose perfectly.
Yep. He sat in the front line, tanked up charms, survived Ahri's picks for the most part, and okay, sure, 6 deaths. He was still among the highest on his team, but being melee, sometimes you expect that. Rux laid down a bunch of slows and let Veritas do work, and that in fact happened. Final 5 put all the weight on their AD carry. He carried him through to victory. I gotta say, that was good stuff there. The mid game was incredibly hectic this game, though. A lot of crazy fights where you'd win by 2, but then a TP flank would come in and it would flip back over. These guys so willing to fight and battle back and forth. It was chaotic, but in the end, Final 5 did win it. And in fact, joining us to talk about that game, we're going to have Rux talk to us about that. Rux, welcome to the show.
Hey, man. What's up?
Not much. Just cast a great game of League of Legends.
So first things first, tell me about your build. So you ran in there and Giants belt first, no magic pen at all. What was the reason for this build?
Usually when you like play versus the real she does like a lot of true damage. So like I go health crystal level 1 and that builds into the Giants belt, and I just go rush like our allies really fast and this peel.
Okay, and then you didn't go for any spell pen after that. You just went straight for Azonia's Hourglass, and then you eventually went for a Void Staff. Is that just continuing what you had to build for the game instead of going for standard like Rumble kill the squishy backline?
Usually when like nowadays everyone knows I play versus Rumble, so like now Rumble's like a team fighting champion, so like you use the Rumble at the zone, and I just got Hourglass to like survive a little bit longer, so I could just peel for my Sivir, Veritas, and you basically carry the game from there.
Yeah, it actually seemed to go pretty well. I do actually want to ask you about your lane opponent as well. Lorlo put on his carry pants in that game. It was a 10, 2, and 7 Aurelia. I know you're a really good top laner yourself. How do you sort of tell your team to deal with this like really big, giant fed top laner, scary split pusher, bro?
Basically that game, I didn't even see Aurelia in my lane, so it was basically like a 1v2, so.
Like later on, how do you navigate around teleports? Because like it's kind of like on you to track like his TP and like keep your lane or keep your team like up to speed, right? Like on a big scary Aurelia.
Yeah, Aurelia's pretty scary, especially with home guards, because she like teleported a couple of times and like got some free kills and got a Baron off of it too after we overstayed.
Yeah,
which is pretty scary.
Okay.
And I want to ask you about the start of the game where you guys were getting harassed by Kenny in the jungle. What was going on and what was the shot calling like? Because you were being put down pretty early on. Like 0 CS for a very long time.
We misplayed our level 1 because like we shared the Gromp EXP. We were supposed to, if like the support comes in, we like give like the Gromp EXP to the jungler so he hits 2 and he like zone the Thresh. But I took the EXP on accident, so which made it even a little bit harder for us to double jungle.
Yeah. So a little bit of a misplay there, I guess.
Yeah,
but
yeah, you guys managed to, of course, turn it back around. Tell me about your team dynamic overall. This is the first we're talking to you about this team. We saw Final 5 back in the expansion tournament. You guys have a couple new members since then, a new jungler, a new AD carry. How would you describe Final Five's sort of play style and also your sort of internal team dynamic?
Usually nowadays we aim for more team fight-oriented team comps, and we usually play as a team more now. And we picked up like a coach and an analyst, which helped us draft our team comp today, which is Will and Braun. And shout outs to them. We've been prepping for this match for this whole week. It's playing Rumble basically. So yeah.
All right, and next week you're facing TSM Darkness and their top laner Big Ol' Ron. How do you match up against them?
Big Ron's pretty good. He plays a lot earlier too, so look forward to that. And TSM Darkness, I'm pretty sure Xing is going into Dignitas now, so
yeah.
I don't know who the jungler is, so we don't know till then.
So how do you prep for a team where you don't know what the jungler is? So you just keep working on your own play?
I'm pretty sure we work on our own play and work on our specific like lanes.
All right, well, good luck to you on that match next week. Of course, you're 2-2, tied for a big pool of teams, I think in second place here overall. So, going to be a very fun season to continue. Good luck in the rest of your matches this week, man. Or this
thank you,
month,
man.
etc. See ya. So, our final game tonight is in the books. Here's a look at the updated Challenger standings. Even with the loss tonight, NA Esports do remain in sole position of first place at 3-1.
After that, there's a four-way tie for second place between CLG Black, Final 5, TDK, and Team Fusion. Meanwhile, TSM Darkness sit alone in last place with a 1-3 record. But with 6 games left to play, everybody's still in the race.
And we'll see how things keep stacking up as the season continues. The Challenger Spring Series will in fact continue next week when CLG Black faces NA Esports, and then TSM Darkness will go against Final 5. We will continue, end the day actually, with Team Fusion facing TDK. But you will not have to wait that long for more competitive League of Legends, as tomorrow, Week 6 of the European LCS kicks off as Giants Gaming faces off against Fnatic. The Unicorns of Love take on SK Gaming, and Rocket goes head-to-head with H2K Gaming. That all starts at 6 p.m. Central European Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that's going to be it for us today on the Challenger Desk. I'd like to say thanks again to all of our guests, that is Nintendox and Rux. Thanks, guys, very much. And on behalf of myself and Zyrene, the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next week.
Bye-bye.
But in comes Janna, and that's the kills. Rule 18 takes on Stixay. Kenny forced her flash away on Thresh. It looks like Rux and Heaven Time get revenge. Gotta be careful. Zonius is up, though. Can they make this happen? There's the dive. There's the Jinx ulti. They look for Think Card. Rule 18 kites back, and they kill off the over-aggressive Vi. Rux in the back lines. Kenny does go down to a bind, and Theratos now in the chase. He's got 2. He's going to make it 3, but the Q comes back in from Easy. The ulti, nice flash. Jinx won't pick it up. Now Easy's off in the back lines. Gate pops the Zonius, will force the team away. Target thing. Sticks there with the zap, gets the kill.